October 15th, 2013. Just did an update video on my cob cottage structure. I thought I would do a video on how the cob is actually made. This is one of those great examples in permaculture of stacked function here. So what you're looking at, this odd art style hole in the ground, is a pond to be. And the reason we're looking at it is because the excavated material from all these different layers, so there's clayey veins, there's sandy veins, there's silt over there, rockiness, more clay, all these different levels have different constituents, particles and substructure or whatever. And so as it's being dug, it gets tossed up onto a pile from all these different levels, which kind of homogenizes it, and then that goes through this very high-tech device, which is just a wooden frame with fencing stuff. I'm gonna have to replace it eventually because it's starting to really wear out. But once it goes through there, you end up with this material. This is last year's, I have to redo it. But it's fine, it's stone-free, and mixed with water and straw and tread together, you have absolutely stellar building material. So this hole in the ground, in other words, this material, translates into all the cob on this property. So I've got the majority of my building material from within 50 yards of my buildings in the ground. This is hand dug, and so there's no dependence on fossil fuels or electricity or the grid or delivery, or there's no money. It's just a hole dug that equals buildings. That gives me a pond. So, and I've been doing some tests with it. I have the hose here goes over to the rain collection system on the sauna, and so I open that valve and let the hose pour in to simulate heavy rain events, and use that time to hand sculpt so that rather than dumping in so it erodes, the water splits and goes all the way around, fills up, and then gently comes over each of the levels. So it fills across the entirety of the pond. So there'd be less erosion. And I'm gonna have to figure out how to get it to pack or to hold water properly. I'm probably gonna end up glaying it, which will be a combination of clay and organic matter that's smeared on there. But I've already started hand smoothing it so that it's comfortable to walk on with bare feet. And it's kind of neat to see. I've never really seen too many hand dug ponds. I had another video of one that my friends and I dug, but this is an attempt at like a really aesthetically pleasing shape. And so you can see the entrance for the water. So to take the drainage from all these systems, and it drained the property in the winter when it's wet, there's a lot of water in here, so it'll enter into the pond, fill from the bottom up obviously, and then when it overflows it hits a channel here that goes to a series of about 10 other micro ponds that I've dug that all chung 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 slowly go down and ultimately drain out to the road, but without letting any soil or nutrition in the water escape. So there's all these settling and sediment ponds throughout. But this will be my primary high point pond. It's big enough for a few people to hop into if they're doing, so there's a sauna over there. My hope is in the winter when this is full, you get just sweating and steaming and turning bright red like a lobster, and then you run out, jump in the cold pond, step back out and go back into the sauna. But all these things are like bonus yields from what came from the fundamental function of needing material to cob with. And if I had read, or if I had taken seriously what I read in the cob books, that you cannot use silt, you have to use the right ratio of clay and straw, I wouldn't have felt inspired to try it. And so I'm glad that I tried it, even though this is considered an inferior soil for cob. There's enough clay, there's enough sand, there's enough whatever, and it's mixed well enough. You know, this is the first mixing. You can see here's a sandy chunk, here's some goopy clay-y stuff, kind of silty, but all in all it works out well enough. And as long as I have a good foundation for it and a good roof for it, these cob structures should hold well. So it's kind of neat. You get a pond, this material translates into that. And for what it's worth, all of this that was dug out here, which represents about half the size of this pond, took me an afternoon to do. I love digging, but this is accessible. If you had, I don't know, 4 or 5 people and shovels and you made a day out of it, you could easily dig a pond like this late summer, early fall when the water table's low so it doesn't fill up with water. It's hard when there's water in the bottom to dig. But you could dig a pond, have a place to sit in the winter when you're doing saunas in your $10 sauna, and have the raw ingredients to build the sauna. So pretty sweet feedback loop there. And eventually this will also be part of my backup irrigation for my garden systems, and I hope to raise some tilapia in here to get some extra protein out of the deal. Anyway, that's another hand-dug pond on the Edible Acres property. And I'm pretty excited to see what this looks like filled up, and I'm definitely excited to hop in there, break through the ice and hop in there after taking my first sauna this winter. Alright, thanks for watching.